Hello everybody, I'm Fandom. As you can see, back in my old usual getup. Halloween is over, so that stuff has been put away for now. It'll come back next year. But I wanted to start this video off thanking all of you for being patient. I have been doing some like in-home stuff after my diagnosis. Most of it is done now. Hopefully soon I'll be able to go on the medication for it, but I've been doing a bunch of stuff. It's been taking a little bit of getting used to with that. I've known that I was going to be going on this medication for a while, so yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for being patient. But today I figured I might as well just record something. I don't really have anything going on. I'm kind of just waiting until it's time for me to go to sleep so I can take my medication and do so. I don't really have anything to do, so I figured, fuck it, I'll talk about something that's on my mind. Why not, right? But I wanted to talk about the different avenues of making like content on YouTube or Twitch and such. Seeing as how I have been making content on both platforms for quite a while, I have had a fair amount of interaction with what it's like to make videos as compared to what it's like to stream content instead. And I also have the contrasting views of being someone who streams on a platform like YouTube compared to streaming on a platform like Twitch. And I think the easiest way to explain the major differences is to go over what the different pros and cons for each thing are. Starting with making videos. One of the biggest advantages to being a YouTuber that makes and edits videos compared to being a streamer, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, is that while making videos, you have a very controllable level of professionalism involved. Per se, while making a stream, yes, you'll sometimes see streamers who have like stream decks and can hit buttons to cause like special transitions or to play sound clips and stuff and have special effects go on. But if you aren't the kind of person who can really spend that kind of money on like good lighting, a really good camera, stream decks, like Elgato brand stuff, you don't really get that. And as someone while making a YouTube video, even if you're using like a free editing software, there are a lot of good ones out there. You have that level of professionalism involved with being able to make changes after the fact. Say you said something that kind of contrasts with the overall point of the video, you can cut it out. That's something you can't do as a streamer. Or vice versa. If you are editing a video after the fact and you realize, oh, it would have been great if I did this or put this in it, you can go back and re-record a part. Anything that you don't like, you can change or get rid of or make better. Any joke that you make can be improved with audio files or visual effects. And that controllable level of professionalism usually results in better quality as far as content goes. If you aren't a person who is, if you aren't somebody who's just passively charismatic, somebody who can, without even trying, maintain the interest and attention span of somebody else, streaming's going to end up being better. But for the most part, a lot of people don't have that raw charisma. And you don't really need it as long as you're making YouTube videos. So it's kind of takes a weight off your shoulders. You don't feel like you have to be as entertaining because you can go back and make it better later. That is arguably the biggest, if not second biggest, pro to making YouTube videos as compared to streaming. The second or first, it's kind of interchangeable depending on who you are, pro of making videos as compared to streaming is it doesn't take very long. Sure, if you are like a perfectionist and really, really, really want to edit the ever-living shit out of your YouTube videos, that'll take time. But if you're making like a 15-minute video, 20 to 30 minutes of recording max. And that's being generous. Some people don't even edit out a lot of it and spend 15 minutes recording. or even less if you're going to put in some like afterwards content. Say you live in a place where you have a lot of family members nearby who make a lot of noise. As long as you can get 15 minutes of quiet, you're good to go. You can maintain a really high level of professionalism that you wouldn't be able to do if you were streaming. That's why I said this one can be a bigger pro than the other one, because it really depends on the kind of situation you have. If you have an office where it's like quiet and you can be as loud as you need to be without other people showing up in the background, this one isn't as important. But if you are younger or live with somebody, this kind of thing can be huge. A lot of people have seen the clip of PewDiePie and Marzio, where Marzio is recording her video and you hear PewDiePie yelling "Soy Boy" in the background. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And obviously it got left in because it was funny. But say your family members being obnoxiously loud in the background, you can't use that content. You have to re-record it. Or in some cases, even just scrap the chunk and release what you have. So that smaller window that is required to make good content can be like a major pro for making videos as compared to streaming. Another good pro is scheduled releases. Sometimes, as a streamer, you will say, oh, I'm going to stream at this time, and then you sleep in. Or you'll say, I'm going to stream at this time, and something will come up and you can't, and you have to reschedule it. If you're a YouTuber that makes videos instead of streaming, you could have that done a day or two in advance, set it up on a schedule, and even if everything just goes to shit, that video will still release when you scheduled for it to release. And as long as you are maintaining a constant upload rate, you can, despite having a whole bunch of stuff going on in the background of your life, not have that interrupted at all. So that it not only is a good thing for you as the content creator, but it's also a good thing for your viewers. Because if your videos are regularly coming out, they're not going to be, feeling like they're not getting as much content as they want. And that is a legitimate thing to think about as a content creator. You have to be able to maintain your viewer base. And if your viewer base just isn't getting enough content, or in some cases is getting too much and doesn't want to watch all of it, or you're releasing a lot of stuff that only some people want to see, while also releasing other stuff that other people want to see, sometimes people just won't subscribe and will instead look you up normally because they want to see what you are doing, but only watch certain things without having their feed just overloaded with all this content that they don't care to watch. And stepping away from the pros of videos, there are a fair amount of cons. Like, both of the different avenues of content creation do have pretty reasonable and contrastable cons to them. One of the biggest con to making videos is that if you are the kind of person who's going to do editing afterwards, it's going to be higher effort. Like, yeah, you don't spend as much time recording, but for every 20 minutes of recording you do, if you're actually taking your time to really do a good job, that's possibly double that amount of time just to record or edit it. You have to watch through it to make sure everything's good, chop out parts that you don't like, replace parts that you do like, add in effects, add in music, add in transitions, add in an end screen, add in an intro screen, so on and so forth. It's a lot of work that takes a fair amount of time. For the same amount of time that would take to stream for 2 hours, that's about how much time it'll take to make a 30-minute video. And that ends up being less content for your viewers to watch. Usually it ends up being higher quality content, but it is still less content nonetheless. One of the other major cons to making videos, and this really kind of encompasses all the other cons that I had listed out, is overanalyzing it. There is such thing as too good. And there is a point when making content that you're going to just repeatedly second guess yourself. The longer you spend working on it, the more you are going to constantly change it. And sometimes you'll make a video, completely finish it, and then the next day, or almost completely finish it, the next day you'll come back and you just won't like what you did anymore. Even though it's perfectly fine, perfectly good, you just had so much time to think about it and overanalyze that you just second-guessed the ever-living hell out of yourself. And I can't remember word for word what they said. Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps made a comment about this a while ago. You end up getting to a point where you kind of need to just release it and stop thinking about it. Realize that you can't make more improvements that are needed, and just release what you have before you end up hating what you have. And that's something that doesn't happen with streams, you know? When you're streaming, what's done is done. When you're making videos, you can always go back, and for perfectionists, that can be a big bane to your content making career. You could straight up have a terrible time making content because of it. Perfectionists often are the people that struggle with it a lot. Markiplier is an example of this. Every couple of months, he'll come out with a video where he just is talking very, very from the heart to his viewer base, and he'll be like, I want to make the best possible content for you guys. And usually that leads to him making no content for chunks of time. And that's something that a lot of YouTubers end up having to struggle with. But stepping over from videos, those are the pros and cons of making videos that I've noticed. Let's talk about the pros and cons of streaming that I've noticed. The biggest pro for streaming for me is that it is low effort. I know a lot of streamers are going to argue and say making videos is so much easier because you don't have to worry about doing something wrong, but hear me out. If you just relax and do the stream, it's very minimal effort. You just sit down and play games for a little bit, talk and respond to your chat, and you're good. You don't have to sit for double the amount of time that you spent playing the game and nitpick through yourself in order to get things done. And this is both a pro and a con, but it is a pro to me, you know? I don't feel like I have to make sure I'm entertaining while streaming. I can just kind of be myself. Some people want to really put on a face while they stream, but for the most part, you don't have to. And it's kind of freeing to have that I don't need to be my best self mindset. One of the other larger pros of streaming is interacting with the community. You can respond to comments on your YouTube videos, sure. You can respond to tweets about your YouTube videos, sure. But streaming provides the biggest interactive ability that you can get with your community. People can actively and in real time talk to you, and you can actively in real time respond. And it's not just a message, it's literally talking to them. It's something that you really can't get with videos. And for a lot of people who have a larger audience, it is one of the most important things to them about streaming. And you can take the interactive nature of it even farther. A lot of streamers will play a game for a little bit, maybe watch something, maybe make something, draw something, but a lot of times after doing whatever they've scheduled to do, they'll sit around and talk with the people who watch their content. It's one of the reasons why a lot of streamers tend to have very active communities. They don't just watch them, they talk to them. Which takes me to one of the cons of streaming is if you are a smaller streamer, maybe you don't have much as far as interactive viewers, a lot of times streaming can give you little to no satisfaction as a content creator. When you sit there and are able to be talked to and are willing to interact with people and nobody shows up, it can be a lot harder than if you spend 40 minutes on a YouTube video and nobody watches it. Which is another thing about streaming that is kind of a con compared to videos. Like I said with the videos, you can spend 20 to 30 minutes recording and get a good 15 to 20 minute long video out of it. Very minimal time needed to have a special area. You need to have a constantly maintained area for streaming. Otherwise, you end up with very unprofessional things like people talking in the background, maybe a TV on in the background, or street noise. If you are in an area where you can't get quiet for a long time because you don't have an office or something like that, a 3 to 5 hour stream can be almost impossible to do professionally. And a lot of times, and for some people it's not as important, but for a lot of people, they would prefer to watch somebody where they hear the person and the content, not the other people in the person's house or the people across the street. That can be a pretty big con if you're not able to maintain an atmosphere for your stream. Streaming can be almost impossible in some situations. At least successful streaming can be almost impossible. If somebody pops into someone's stream and all you hear in the background is like their little brother screaming and then their dad telling them to shut the fuck up, it could be a little bit hard to sit around and listen to that, you know? And the last con that I really have for streaming is also one of the pros that I had for streaming, and that is what's done is done. Well, you don't have to think about it and nitpick yourself over it. You also can't take things back. If you say something in the heat of the moment, that's done. A very famous and well-known example of this is PewDiePie saying the N-word. Obviously, I'm never going to have a situation where I blast the N-word out at someone because they shot me in PUBG, but it happened. And that's something that if he would have been recording instead of streaming, it never would have caused as much backlash as it did. He possibly would still have his partnership with Disney, for better or worse. You know? But what you say, what you do, that's it. That's what's out there. And unless you delete the VOD and make it so that people can't watch it anymore, that's what your content is going to be. If you aren't entertaining naturally, your unentertaining stream is going to be everything that your viewer base takes at face value about you. It can cause a fair amount of problems that really can only be fixed by making videos instead of streaming. So when it comes to deciding whether or not you want to make videos or stream, it comes down to your situation. In most cases, it comes down to your personal charisma and the area that you have set aside for your content. Obviously, you can do 20 to 30 minute streams, but the longer a stream goes for, the more people are going to see that it's live and possibly pop in. If you do a 2-hour stream, anybody who is able to watch after those 2 hours won't be able to be part of it. If you were doing a 3 or 4 hour stream, those people are extra people that would be able to drop in and leave comments and like and watch actively. You know? That's pretty much the extent of what I wanted to talk about. It's been something that I've been thinking about. 'Cause last time I streamed, I talked about it a little bit. Last time I streamed Minecraft, I guess I could say. The last really major point to make is the difference between YouTube and Twitch. I personally prefer YouTube over Twitch as far as the streaming avenue. The way that they show off streams makes it so that if you aren't an already known person, it's almost impossible to start a following. Really, the only way that you're going to start having a following on Twitch is if someone features you on their stream or features you on YouTube. And they go, yeah, this person, you can check them out here on their Twitch channel. If that doesn't happen, you're going to stay at the bottom, and you're going to stay at the bottom for a very long time. It is really hard to climb the ranks in Twitch. It is not much easier on YouTube, but on YouTube, at least your VODs are going to be there, you know? They can show up on people's recommended. They're not going to do that on Twitch. So that avenue of being found in the first place is something I really do like a lot about YouTube. Another thing that I like about YouTube is how they have their scheduling set up. You can have a thumbnailed block on your channel dedicated to a stream that's coming up for days before it comes up. That's something you can't do on Twitch. The best thing you can do Twitch-wise is leave a comment on Twitter saying, yeah, I'm going to stream at this time. If anyone doesn't see that, they're not going to know that you're going to be streaming until the stream starts. And one way that many well-known Twitch streamers get around this is by having a weekly schedule, but for a lot of people that's not really possible. Because if you have a volatile job outside of Twitch, or if you have stuff going on with your family that's going to interrupt that, or you aren't good at maintaining a good sleeping schedule, that's really not an option for you. And that's another reason why I like YouTube so much more. Another reason why I like YouTube so much more than Twitch is all your content is in one place. A lot of times, people on Twitch will get upset because someone will upload their content on YouTube and get all the views before they're able to. And the reason for that is if you are a partner on Twitch, if you're a partner on Twitch, you can't upload your content onto YouTube for 24 hours. You have to be, and I'm sure some people have other situations with this, but if you are being paid on Twitch, a lot of the content creators on Twitch who have that option to make it a job, clippers will come in and sweep all the views out from underneath them. That doesn't happen on YouTube. On YouTube, your streams are going to be there next to all the videos that you made, able to get the views on YouTube beforehand. And I like that. That is something I really like. I don't have to upload my content twice. And setting up YouTube is also ridiculously easy. I highly recommend it to anybody out there. If you are not in the middle of an active contract with Twitch, try out streaming on YouTube. Obviously, YouTube is missing a lot of the tools that Twitch has developed over time, but they have been implementing them. And it is really easy to do. It is so much more intuitive, at least in my experience, than it was trying to get things set up on Twitch. I also don't like a lot of Twitch at face value. I don't like their the fact that they have a no ban list, and the other fact that sometimes people get banned for absolutely nothing. The worst that happens to you on YouTube is your video isn't monetizable. The stuff that you get a smack on the wrist for on YouTube, you'll lose your channel permanently for on Twitch, and I find that stupid. Meanwhile, other people who are doing much worse things, literally releasing soft porn on Twitch, can't get in trouble because they make Twitch too much money and Twitch doesn't want to punish them. I don't like Twitch as a platform. I don't like Twitch at all. But that about wraps up what I wanted to talk about. Look forward to some content. I have a couple stuff I'm going to be recording. I have a couple streams I want to be doing. I don't know how much I'm going to be back as far as making regular content. Like I said, just recently I had some blood work and scans done, and soon I'm going to be going on my MS medication, and I don't know how I'm going to react to that. It could be good, could be bad, could be without any problems, could be with problems, and only time will tell. So, I am still working on, and I talked about this during my Halloween stream a little bit, I am working on a best of video that I'm excited for. I finally have streamed enough and made enough videos that I feel like I can make a decent length best of video that I can hopefully put as the trailer for my channel. I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I hope you guys are too. I still check in on my channel a lot, even when I'm not uploading. I try to like and respond to comments as often as I possibly can. It's been cool seeing my subscriber count rise a little bit despite me not releasing stuff. There's always that worry when you're a smaller YouTuber that you might lose 10 or so subscribers just because you didn't stream for a couple of days. And although 10 subscribers doesn't seem like a lot, when it takes you a couple weeks to get 10 subscribers, it's a big deal to lose it. So, hello to everybody who's new, and thank you to everybody who's been sticking around. I really appreciate you guys. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. And if you aren't already, subscribe so you will see notifications and see me in your subscription tab. But as usual, I am not good at goodbyes, so I'll see you later. Bye bye.